Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. You know what that means? I mean, use the chapters, guys. I'm not starting on time tonight. That's what check 1 check 1. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Man, we still got to set up. I'm on time, but I still got some setting up to do. That's what that means. So take advantage of the chapters you want to skip to the beginning of the video. Hope you guys had an awesome day in the market. Today was a wild one, guys. It's been a rodeo ride. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. It's getting hot. This fan ain't doing nothing. Nothing. This fan ain't doing nothing. It is hot. But yeah, the market, wild, son. Wild. I can't wait to talk about it. And I'm so glad that I covered what I covered this weekend on the weekly recap live, because I talked about some of this stuff that's happening this week. I talked about it. So if you missed it, shame on you. And I cannot wait to cover it again this weekend. Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to do another. We're doing this every week. That's my plan. Weekly recaps. So we're going to review what we did throughout the week. That's the plan. That's the idea. So let's go ahead and finish setting up this script. Let's finish that up. Market. And we covering Smuckers tonight. Got it. All right, now that we got that, it's saving. Go here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider. Oh, I don't know why I keep stumbling over that when I get ready to say consider subscribing to the channel. I get tongue twisted as soon as I get to that part. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I guess I got to slow it down. I greatly would appreciate it. All right. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm getting my prompter, getting my script loaded up and ready to go. Let's see what we got. Proofread it just a little bit. Make sure there's no words missing because it'd be throwing me for a loop. So far, so good. So far, so good. I believe we're good. I don't think it's going to be no issues here. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for sharing the live stream, Miss Owens. I believe that is Miss Owens. Thank you so much for sharing the live stream. And tonight's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a great show. And it's actually going to be a little bit faster because we had one of those anomalies happen. And man, I'm happy about it because I don't want to be on this live stream all night tonight. But we are about to get started. Yes, we is. Yes, we are. Here we go. All right. Got everything where I need to have it. All right. Let me check this website part. That's there. Hit this one. Okay. Bear with me, guys. We about to get started. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing. Here we go. My lips dry. Let me get my lips together. Before they crack and bleed in the middle of the doggone live stream. Can't have that. Don't want it all glossy, but I don't want them dry. All right, a little bit more water. Okay, I think I'm about as ready as I'm gonna be. Let me cut this phone off just in case to stop it from going off in the live stream. All right, I believe we all set. So let's get ready to go. Let's go. Welcome to Market Recap Live. I'm your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God Oh, it's Tuesday, guys. It is Tuesday. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker SJM. You might know them better as Smucker. The JM Smucker Company was founded in 1897 by Jerome Monroe Smucker, with the first office opening in Orrville, Ohio. Now they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange and have a market value over 10 billion, yes, that's billion dollars. Smucker is in the foods products industry in the consumer staples sector, and they are listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Smucker's competitors are Conagra Brands Incorporated, ticker CAG, General Mills Incorporated, ticker GIS, and the Kraft Heinz Company, ticker KHC. We're going to review Smucker's earnings, visit their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. While you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, now let's get to it. Let's go to the earnings. Man, I love it when this goes smooth. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Here we go. Smucker, ticker symbol SJM, the $11.98 billion company, reported its fourth quarter earnings on Tuesday, June 9th. They have a 52-week high of $119.39, which took place on February 26th, and a 52-week low of $88.25 that occurred on April 13th, which is a trading range of $31.14. And they closed today at $112.39. Smucker earnings report met market expectations on the top line when they reported revenue of $2.3 billion, and they beat on the bottom line as coffee and Uncrustables volume growth expanded gross profit margins. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of $2.65 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $2.77. Smucker reported a GAAP net income of $388.1 million, which is a huge swing to profitability compared to the $729 million net loss they reported this same quarter last year. The earnings were released before the market opened, followed by a 9 a.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management expects fiscal 2027 net sales to decline 3 to 4%. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $112.39 represents an increase of 27.35% over a span of approximately 2 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in April at that 52-week low of $88.25, they would be seeing a gain of $273.50. Woo, man, we did that. Let's go. Let's move on. All right, let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and the text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in 4 main areas: the homepage for goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now, let's go to Smucker's website so we can see what they're doing up over there. So here we go. Go there. Put the right disclaimer up here. We have their ticker. That's not the right one. We're going to go with this one. That's the ticker we need. Bam. All right. It's not financial advice. Right. We got that. Okay. So we're on their homepage of their website. We're going to browse over this home page, and I'm going to tell you where we're going to click. So we're definitely going to go to the About Us section. I love their website already, guys. Everything we need is right there at the top. We're going to go to About, we're going to go to Careers, and we're going to go to Investors. And we're going to check out their brands because I'm interested to see what their brands are. So let's browse over the whole home page, and then we'll click those. Fiscal year 2026 results reflect strength of strategy and meaningful business momentum. Got it. A portfolio of brands you know and love. Why Smucker is the place for you. News and stories, more to explore, looking for internship opportunities, innovation. Is that chocolate? Well, ugh, I don't know if I like it. Chocolate and peanut butter all in one, I don't know. Innovation that makes life better. Discover how. The SJM Smucker Company. All right, so we at the bottom. We're at the bottom. So let's go to About. Looks like there's a drop down. So we want the values. That's exactly what we want. So let's go there. Our values. Let's see if we're zoomed in. We wasn't even zoomed in, guys. Let me make this bigger for you. There we go. So our values from the beginning, the SJM Smucker Company has been about more than making profits. Our founder started the business to create opportunities for his family, employees, partners, and local community to experience success. Today, his principles will still reign true in everything we do. That rhymed a little bit. So basic beliefs, the values that define us and how we are called to act upon them. Our commitment to each other, our purpose, okay, feeding connections that help us thrive. Life tastes better together. Okay. Our vision, engage, delight, and inspire consumers by building brands they love and leading in attractive categories. All right, so we're at the bottom. Now remember, the websites featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Hey, we got a comment. Hunter Locks, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tuning in from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Hit that like button and consider subscribing, man. You in for a treat. You in for a treat. Let me put this ticker back on the screen. All right, thank you for that comment. Our vision. Yep. Okay, so we're done with this. So let's go ahead and move on. Remember, the links are down in the description if you want to browse through the website a little bit further. Let's go ahead and go to Careers and see what we can find about this, about the benefits. So they talk about how we hire. Let's go to Work With Us, because I didn't see that as one of the options. So let's see if we can look up by scrolling over this. So Work With Us, our people are our most important ingredient. We hire passionate individuals in a range of job fields who are serious about sharpening their skills and expanding their capabilities through an exciting and meaningful career at Smucker. All right, I'm noticing we moving kind of slow, so I'm gonna move a little bit faster. And I'm gonna check this because when they left that comment, this chime did not go off. So let me check that real quick. Activate selected. All right, hopefully that'll fix the problem. So when somebody leaves a comment, I'll get a notification so they'll know I'm not ignoring them. I'm just looking, it's on a different screen. All right, so we are looking for the benefits. Those are different departments that they hire for. I didn't see anything about the benefits on this section of the website, guys. So let's go ahead and go to how we hire. Maybe they'll mention it on that one. So how we hire. Our culture is sustained and brought to life every day by the people of Smucker. To ensure the right fit for everyone, candidates often complete multiple interviews and engage with many Smucker employees throughout the hiring process. So they talk about the hiring process, of course. Where are the benefits? Stand out from the crowd, blah, 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 blah. How do I apply for the job? Any openings? Apply. I'm browsing, guys. I don't see anything about the benefits. Okay, all right, I'm moving on. Don't want to drag the show. So let's go ahead and go to the investors section. Gonna go to overview. Make sure we're zoomed in. There we go. All right, I see exactly where we're gonna go. So we're gonna go to stock info, but I want to browse over this page first, and it looks like it's a nice little scroll. So investor relations, they talk about the stock price and the ticker right there, and the exchange they trade on. Company overview, building on nearly 2 decades of steady financial growth. The best is yet to come for SJM Smucker Company. Okay, so they have some stats here, financial highlights, more information, latest news and upcoming events, latest corporate reports. Gotcha. All right. So let's go ahead and click on stock info. And it looks like they have some other tools here as well on their website, like a historical stock quote. They looks like they pay dividends. So hopefully I remember to talk about that when we look at the charts. But let's go to stock quote. So here is the stock quote information they have available on their website. Here's the chart. And those are some other tools. All right, so let's talk about the research that I found about the company before we did the live stream. So let's go ahead and go here. Bam. Now, blah, blah, blah. Company research. So Smucker does have customers, not companies. Smucker does have customers and partners that are listed in the S&P 500. Some notable names include Target Corporation, ticker TGT, Walmart Incorporated, ticker WMT, and Costco Wholesale Corporation, ticker COST. And I remember it was something that I said we want to look at that I did not look at while we were on the website. So let's go back there. Let's go back there for 1 second. I said we want to look at the brands. So brands you love. See all brands. Hopefully they have this broken down where we can go through this really quick. I was hoping they would have a list, guys. So we're going to have to use our eyes. So they have coffee products here, see all brands when it comes to the coffee, frozen handhelds and spreads, pet foods, sweet baked goods. Oh, they got Hostess. Oh, I'm weak for them Hostess. That's my stuff right there. Ooh, keep me away from them sweets. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Now, if you want to dig into that a little bit further, go to the website. I just wanted to make sure I peeked at it because I said I was going to do it. So let's go back here and talk about this before we go to the charts. All right. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders can lose critical details and advanced platform features using apps on phones instead of software on computers or websites. So keep in mind, trading from a smartphone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To access the most details, it's best to use a full trading platform. Watch these streams on a computer or TV and only use your phone as a last resort. Okay, now let's look at Smucker on the charts. Here we go. Do we have their ticker up? Yep, here they are on the charts. Absolutely. And there is their ticker. All right, so we don't even have to pull it up. We already got it ready to go. All right, guys, this is where we at. This is where we are. This is where we at. Ooh. Double click. There we go. All right. So here's their 52-week high of $119.39. Here's their 52-week low of $88.25. So I'm going to put some price levels on the chart right out the gate. Bada boom, bada bang. So that's the 52-week high, 52-week low. I'm seeing a wide kind of consolidation range. It's very wide. It's from 90, it's from 80 something dollars. No, well, not 80 something. Say like 95. So between 95 and $115, it's been in like a consolidation range over the year. All right, so let's go back and look at the 10-year weekly. Now we're getting a little bit more information with the prices. So over the last 10 years, Smuckers had a high, the highest high, the 10-year high is $163.07. And that 10-year low is that 88.25, guys. That was recently. So this is the lowest that price has been. The closest has been to that price range. Let me take me off the screen so you can see it. Monitor was back in 2018 and 2019. So let me zoom into this area and mouse over it so we can get those lows. So I'm gonna cut on my floating data box to make it easier for you to follow. And we're looking for the lows, guys. Which one of these is the lowest? So this candle right here, the low is $91.32. And I can tell that that was lower than the green candle. This green candle was $91.88. And that was $91.32. So this red candle here was lower. That's the lowest it's been. So in the last 10 years, besides this $88.25. So the idea is you basically buying it at 2018 price levels now. If you were able to get it here, it was like you took a time machine, went back to 2018 and bought that stock. And since that price level of that 80, of that $91.32, it had a high of $163.07, which was an opportunity from this low to that high. So that opportunity contained, let me take off this floating data box because we don't need that right now. Just want you to give you a quick idea about this. So there was an opportunity for a 78.57% gain between the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2023. So there was an opportunity for gain within there. Since that 163 10-year high, $163.07 10-year high, they've been downtrending. Bam. And it was a big drop that they had in 2023 from that $163.07 down to, let's get that actual price level. What did that just put there? I don't even know what that was. Remove that drawing. We need a price level. That's what we're looking for. That right there. To $107.33. That was the lowest point. This red candle right here. So it had dropped from there to there. Bam. Then it recovered, came back up to the 200-week simple moving average, but it still's been on it's been doing pullbacks, but overall the long-term trend is down. Now, when we look at this 2025 and 2026 this year, I'm seeing consolidation. Okay, that's a big box. So I'm gonna erase that and I'm gonna show you what I mean, because that's not clean enough. Let me show you what I mean. These lows weren't really new lows. So if we look at this, these lows were lower than those lows. So the trend is still down. These lows were lower than those lows. These were slightly higher, but the highs weren't as high. So that's what I'm looking at. So the trend was still down. It wasn't until here. It's kind of doing the same thing, but that price level up here got tested this week that I'm pointing at right here, that $119.39. And that was the highest it's been within this year. But I'm seeing this as more of a consolidation range if we just focus on this price area here, not that extra part. It looked like it came down first and then it went right back into the consolidation range, if you can see that. All right, so let's go back to the 1 year daily chart and we can focus on looking for these price levels so we can get these technicals. First thing that stands out to me, guys, is that we have a gap. So it gapped up on earnings today. The announcement was before the market opened, so they actually reacted to the earnings today. They reacted to them. So on the charts, you know, we like to make the gaps yellow. Then we're going to extend this gap out to December 1st just so we can see it, because it might be on the chart for a while if it doesn't have a gap fill, which we're going to talk about when we look at, I'm clicking the wrong thing. We're going to look at when we look at the SPY. When we look at the SPY next, we'll talk about that. There we go. Bam. So we got the gap on the chart. As far as levels of resistance, bam, it stood out to me real quick. This high right here, if you look at that high, that's where the price actually closed at today. You see how close the body of the, let me zoom in a little bit. The top of the body of this green candle closed right there. And this was about the exact same high of November 13th. Let me zoom back out. November 13th. So I'm seeing this as like an area of resistance, guys. It's like a zone though. So I'll show you what I mean by zone. Let me use this rectangle tool, grab this high, grab that high. Then I'm going to extend it over to the right so you can see what I'm saying. Take this over to December 1st. Bam, there's my resistance zone. Because it's a lot of wicks in there. And then that body closed above it. I'm seeing this as more of a zone because it's a lot of wicks. It's not a lot of candle bodies besides these three right here that sit within that price range. So the bottom of that zone is $112.36. And then you have that high here. So if you look at this candle right here, that's closer to this high that happened today. And that's similar to the high back here. So let me show you. It's similar to this high right here. So we might need to adjust this zone. The zone needs to use that high, not the other one. So I'm going to adjust this zone. So let me take this off, put this back on. What was that high on that candle? The high on that candle was $114.74. 114.74. Bam, bam, 74. There we go. So we extended the range. So we said 74, but the price level we have over here is 84 because we use that price level for this candle right here. So since that was a wick and that will bring it down on the body, I'm gonna bring this price level down. So edit properties, price level, 74. Did somebody nope, nobody left a comment. So we can go back, bam, bam, 74. Got it. So that's what I'm looking at as far as resistance. It closed right below that area of resistance. So the next level of resistance, if it was able to get through this zone right here, is $119.39. Far as support, I'm seeing that gap and it's right. The next area of support, you got two things right here that stand out to me. You got the 9-day simple moving average and you have the 200-day simple moving average. The 200-day simple moving average is the white line. That's up here. The 9 is the green line. So that information is up there. Just point it out to you so you can see it. And it looks like the 9 is about to cross over the 200-day simple moving average. So that's going to be an area of support that I would keep an eye on. That gap fill, this yellow area, and the low of this pullback right here. So the low of that pullback, let me delete that. Here we go. Price level. Here we go. Bop, bop, bop. And I'm looking back on the chart to see if it's like some zones. Yeah, guys, this is like a zone. So if let me get this rectangle, if I go here and then I go here, yeah, I'm seeing this is like a support zone. So if we bring this over to December 1st, and then we're going to extend it back on the left too. 2025, we go back 20. We don't need to go back that far. Here we go. I can't see. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong date. I'm looking up in the box, guys. Forgive me. Here we go. There we go. Bam. So we got extended on the right, and I want to extend it on the left. So edit properties, extend it on the left. Got 2026, 2025. December. We want to go to 2024. There we go. There we go. All right. So we extended it so you can see more of it. Let me take me off the screen so you can get a better idea. Take me off the screen. Here we go. Bam. So you can see how the prices responded to that zone. It responded to it here as support. It opened just below it, came back and kind of tested it here. It didn't quite touch it these two times, but it held above that area. You see how you see this area right here, how it was responding to that price level zone. And that's also around a psychological level as well. It did it here too. The psychological level is $100. That's going to be that round number. So people are really attracted psychologically to round numbers. So that zone has 100 within it. So I'm not surprised that it's responding to it. I'm still trying to put myself back on the screen, guys. These two mics drive me crazy. Here we go. There we go. Put me back on the screen. All right. So I want you to be able to see the top price of this zone. And I know this taking a minute, but we only covering 2 companies tonight. So we doing good on the technicals. I just want to make sure I'm covering these for you. So we got $98.64 on the bottom of that zone. And on the top of that zone, we have $100.28. So you can see it. Just wanted to pull it up on the screen so you can see what I was seeing. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I definitely would appreciate it. All right. So we're going to zoom in. We got the technicals done. Now let's go ahead and talk about Smucker's stock quote. So we go to the settings, floating data box, apply. Here we go. So Smuckers opened today at $106.96. They had a high of $115.23. They had a low of $105.50. They closed today at $112.39, which was a trading range of $9.73. Now, when we look at the trading volume, we know that we usually see increased volume on earnings as a response to earnings. So they traded 5.2 million shares of this stock today. And if they did that on earnings, I'm very curious to know what their average trading volume is without earnings. So let's check that out. Take me off the screen, cut off this floating data box, and now we're going to look at my volume label. So the average trading volume for Smuckers in a daily trading session is 2 million. They usually trade just 2 million. So they did 2.5 times what they normally do on average. And then we can see they did 2.4 million on Monday. So that's what we're seeing with the volume. Now let's talk about the volume rank percentile. So this move that went up today went up on above average volume and it gapped up. So volumes is very important when it comes, volume is very important when it comes to technicals. So that's why it surprises me when I see people on YouTube or creating content that rarely discuss the volume. You want to know how many trades were behind the move. You see a big candle and barely anybody traded it. It's not enough confirmation about what's going on. It wasn't enough trading activity. I don't know why they don't. In fact, I think it's because they don't know, or maybe they hiding it behind a course. I don't know, but I know that volume is important. So now when we go over here and we look at the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 5 of those days had higher volume than today. DA is days above, DB are days below. So now when we look, the volume rank percentile is 98%. So that means that today's volume was higher than 98% of those most recent 252 trading days volumes. Bam. Now, I forgot. We talked about dividends. So actually, I remember because we didn't leave. So here are the dividends right at the bottom of the chart. Let me double click this. So the last time they paid dividends, it was $1.10. And that was May 15th. And it looks like they've been paying $1.10 for the last 4 dividend payments. So that's when we were talking about, it looks like they paid dividends. All right, so we got that. Now let's move on. Go here. Go here. All right. Back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, Cash App and PayPal links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. Now, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right, so let's go back to the charts. There we go. Let's pull up the ticker for the SPY. Let's put this disclaimer up about the platform, just in case you want to know what platform I'm using. Now we're going to go over to the symbol box. I'm going to type in SPY. And boy, oh boy, was this a day. Was this a day. This was crazy, guys. This blew my mind. So we have some updates we need to put on this chart. We look at the SPY every day. If this is your first time seeing my videos or tuning in, every time we do a trading session, we look at how the SPY performs. So the 52-week low for the SPY is $591.89, and they were hitting record highs, and the 52-week high was $760.40. Now it looks like they could be in a pullback, but for the most part, they've been looking very bearish to me recently. They've been looking bearish to me. Let me put me back on the screen. So the first thing that caught my attention was they started trading below the 9-day simple moving average. So for 11 trading sessions, they were trading above this 9-day simple moving average, this hyphen green line. Now for those 11 trading sessions, they were making higher highs on lower volume. Remember how I just talked about the volume when we were looking at Smuckers? So it wasn't a lot of people agreeing on those prices up at those levels. But then when it closed below that 9-day simple moving average, the volume went crazy. So let me show you where you look at this volume at. Let me just cut on the floating data box. You'll see it down at the bottom. The second box at the bottom, when I mouse over this red candle, they traded 93.9 million shares of this ETF on that big red candle. The average trading volume on the SPY is 74 million. You can't see it because I'm on the screen. So let me take me off the screen so you can see it. 74 million right over here. That's the average trading volume for the SPY. So look at what the volume is in that second box down at the bottom of the floating data box. When we mouse over these highs, you can see that the volume was below average. 55 million, 43 million, 31 million. It hit a high on 31 million. That was less than half of the average volume. And then soon as average volume came in above average, bam, it tanks. Okay, so that's what I was keeping an eye on. Now I'm gonna take the floating data box off and we're gonna talk about the rest of these two candles. So if you watch yesterday's live stream and just watch the part about the SPY, and I put chapters in it so you can go to it, I had said this looked bearish, and today it went crazy to the downside. Now what caught my attention after it went crazy to the downside was how well it recovered. Like the way it recovered is crazy to me. Look how long this wick is, guys. So this was a gap that it ended up closing because the wick passed that area. So now we can remove this gap. That gap was between these two candles. So that candle was on May 5th and May 6th. So now we can remove this drawing because the gap has been filled. But it came all the way down here. This area was supposed to be a support zone because the price was above it. So it didn't find support on it. It peaked below it. And then throughout the trading session, it was able to recover back above these other levels we were keeping an eye on. Crazy. So let me walk you through the forming of this candle, the body of this candle. Okay. So earlier in the session, in the morning, that's when the high was formed. The low happened in the middle, like towards 75% into the trading session. And then towards the end of the session, it recovered. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like on a minute chart right now. So we're gonna go over to a minute chart and we're gonna walk through the formation of that candle. This gray area that you're seeing on the screen, that's extended trading hours. So I'm gonna take that off because we don't need to see that right now. So I'm gonna go over to equities, show extended trading hours. You couldn't see it because it's covered. This box right here, show, we don't need that. So click apply and then we'll just see today's trading session. All right. It's still showing that zone on this chart, but I had removed it over here. So we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out in a second. So this is what I mean. When the market opened, it had gapped up because this is where it closed at yesterday. When it gapped up, this is going to be the top of the wick of the candle we looking at on the daily chart. That's $746.90. $746.90. That was the minute candle that formed today's high. This price level right here. All right. So it made that high in the morning. Then it traded all the way down to $722.59. That's a 5-day low. That's why this bubble is here. That's the low of today's candle. I'm just walking you through how the candle was formed so we can see the movement of it, get an idea of how it moved. So it went up a little bit in the morning, came all the way down to create that low, went all the way down and closed that gap, broke that support zone, and then recovered all the way back up to where it closed at. So this candle right here would be the close of that candle. So that's where the body and the high and the low, so we can see it by breaking it open and looking at the minute chart. So that's what we just did. So now that we looked at it that way, now we can see how this crazy candle was formed. Okay. So it closed here. Now what's catching my attention about this, guys? When you look at these charts and we think about people buying, this price level right here, the bottom of that body, let me draw this for you. I'm gonna shade this area. The bottom of this body is below this red candle. So it's today's closing did not recover that big red candle. The body, we paying attention to the body, not the lows, right? So I'm gonna extend this over to the left so I can show you something. We're gonna extend this over. It's probably gonna be too far, but you'll get the idea. I did it too far, but you'll get the idea. This is what I want you to focus on. All the candles in this box Everything in that box. That means everybody that purchased this ETF in these candles above where it closed at, they're all losing money because they purchased it at a higher price than where it is now. So all those people are still trapped. So even though it recovered and it went right here, it's still top heavy to me with recent purchases. That's what I'm seeing. But it's so interesting to me how this formed, because that recovery gives you a bullish indication. But what I just showed you gives you a bearish indication, because where it closed at, it never closed back recovering any of this loss that happened on Friday. And all of these people are still trapped at the top, and they were late to the party because of how long, let me remove this drawing, how long the SPY had been trending up. It's been on an uptrend since back here. So that was February 30th. No, that's March 30th. My apologies. March 30th. It's been on an uptrend since then. And this is like the biggest pullback it done had since it's been uptrending. Okay. But from what I'm seeing, it's still giving me bearish indications besides the huge recovery off this long wick. That's the only thing that's giving me bullish vibes. It still looks extremely bearish to me because it failed to actually test the 9-week. Now, I don't need this arrow. I'm trying to change this. This is what I need. The 9-week simple moving average. It came higher than this high, but it wasn't able to close above that. And it opened just above that support, that resistance of $743.46. So that's what I'm seeing on the technicals, guys. And I know that's a lot of lines going on, but that's what we got. That's what we've been paying attention to. Now we can talk about the volume as well after we do the actual quote. So let's go ahead and cover the quote. So we go to floating data box. Here we go. Let's zoom in. So the SPY opened today at $743.63. They had a high of $746.90. They had a low of $722.59, and they closed today at $737.05, which is a trading range of $24.31. Trading volume for today was 87.6 million of this ETF was traded today. So that is above average because we already looked at that average trading volume for the SPY, which is 74 million shares in a daily trading session. Take me off the screen. Here's a reminder of that. Here's the average volume. This is what they traded today. So this red candle was above average. So people were definitely trading today more than normal. But that would be expected, in my opinion, based on the fact that if people were using stop losses at these areas of support, that would have triggered more trading activity. But the way it recovered and came back up here, that's a bullish sign. But the bearish sign to me is that it was not able to close and penetrate any of these and recover any of the losses that it had on Friday and Monday. Okay, so that's where I'm getting that from. So let's finish talking about the volume. So the volume rank percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 61 of those days had higher volume than today. Volume rank percentile was 75.8%, which means that's the percentage of candles today's volume was higher than out of the most recent 252. Bam, we got it. Now let's move on. Let's go to here. All right, now let's look at what the biggest gainer and loser of the day was inside of the S&P 500. But first, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. Okay. And I'm excited about it because I have a special treat about this. Oh, and I love when this happens. So let's go back over to the charts. And we're done with the SPY. We're going over to the Market Watch tab, go to quotes, pull up the S&P 500 watch list. I didn't have this ready. Here's the biggest loser. Bam. So the biggest loser for today is ticker COHR, Coherent Corporation. All right, they're the biggest loser. They lost 11.44% today. Their previous close was $401.93. And they closed today at $355.94. So let's bust out the calculator and do a hypothetical. If someone had invested, let's say $1,800, and then they suffered that 11.84, it's 11.44% loss, percentage negated equal, they would have lost $205.92 of their $1,800 investment. We add the $1,800 principal back to it, they would have been left with $1,594.08. Bam. Now we're going to go over here to the Analyze tab. So ticker COHR is in the information technology sector. So let's go over there and see how they perform today. So we're going to go back to the Market Watch tab, go to the Visualize sub tab, and then we're going to go to the S&P 500 watch list. So here is the heat map for the S&P 500 index, and we want to focus on the information technology sector. That's going to be right here. Let me use this box and take me off the screen. I want to give you a visual of what we're looking at. So bam, take me off the screen and go right here. Here is the information technology sector when you're looking at the entire heat map. Okay, so now when I actually select it, that's what we're zoomed in on. So now they're going to be broken into different industries. All right. So we want to know what industry COHR is in. And I'm browsing because I have no idea where they are. COHR, if you see it, then you better than me. All right. So let me show you a trick I use when I can't. It's over here. It's in the electronic equipment. COHR, Coherent Corp, right here. So electronic equipment industry. Bam. See them? There we go. So it looks like a mix in this industry. In this industry, it looks like it was a mix. But in the information technology sector, I'm seeing way more red than green. So we looked at the heat map. Now let's go back to the Analyze tab. And let's talk about Coherent Corp. We're going to read this and then we're going to visit their website. Here's their website. The link is down in the description for your convenience. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hey, I really appreciate. I'm about to pull your comment on the screen. I just got it. I'm not ignoring you. I wasn't looking at the screen. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to read it in a second. I just want you to see Hunter Locks. Man, I'll be having a hard time. These names, man. Please forgive me. Hunter. I'm gonna say Hunter. I really appreciate the focus on more tickers and news than just hyper fixating on futures. Grateful for your thoughts and analysis. You know what, man? I got to put me on the screen big time. Listen, I appreciate you for appreciating it. I really wish that these content creators would spend more time teaching about this stuff than just doing it the way that they doing it. So I appreciate the fact that you appreciate the education. I really do. And personally, I don't really care for futures. And I noticed that's the new craze right now. Like everybody is crazy about futures right now. And I'm like, why won't y'all focus on the risk instead of the profits? Look at the risk. From what I understand about futures, it's extremely risky. And that's the new craze right now. Like it used to be day trading, it used to be options, and now this new thing, everybody crazy about futures, man. Nuts. So let me go back. Appreciate the comment. Thank you so much for that comment. Let me go back here. Bam. All right, put the ticker back up for the loser. Take me off the screen. And let's finish reading the description. Coherent Corp develops, manufactures, and markets engineered materials, optoelectronic components and devices and laser systems for the use in the industrial communications, electronics, and instrumentation markets worldwide. Okay, now let's go to their website and check them out. Here we go. Put me back on the screen. And guys, what I like about this company is the fact that we've never covered it before. So this is new to me. I did some research about it. It looks like they're partnered or have with NVIDIA. That's the first thing that popped up. So we're going to browse over their website. We're going to go to about, if we can find it. I see company, so that's going to be probably where we're going to click. So we're going to go there and let's scroll over the page and we're going to see if we can find some more links at the bottom. But let's see what's going on. Optical circuit switch. We harness photons to drive innovation. Okay. Markets. Trading platform. That's not what we want. Let me fix this disclaimer. There we go. Bam. All right. Data center and communications, industrial, events, press releases, highlights. They got some videos here, links down in the description. You want to check it out. So down here at the bottom, I see some links. We're definitely going to go to About Us. We're going to go to Investor Relations, and we're going to go to Careers. So let's go ahead and start with About Us. Let's find out some more about this company. Put me back on the screen. We harness photons to drive innovation. Coherent is the global photonics leader. That's good to know. We harness photons to drive innovation. You've said that numerous times. Industry leaders in the data center, communications, and industrial markets rely on Coherent's world-leading technology to fuel their own innovation and growth. Got it. Here's a video, link in the description. You can check that out. About Us. Isn't that what they repeat that numerous times? We done seen that so many times. Okay, I'm over it. Let's go ahead and go to Careers. We're looking for the benefits, guys. That's what we're looking for. How well do they take care of the employees? So Careers, join the global leader in lasers, materials, and networking. We're looking for great people who want to create the future of photonics, who value diversity, passion, and intellectual curiosity. Join us. Create the future with us. Explore United States, Finland, United Kingdom, Germany. Is that Texas? That's interesting. Ain't Texas in the United States? I don't know what they be doing. Let's go. Let's move on. All right. I ain't see anything about benefits. Internship opportunities, let's click on something and see if we can find it. I see company, careers. No, don't see it. Let's go to search jobs. Go to United States. Let's see if we can find some benefits, guys. Nope. They didn't mention. I don't see it. If I missed it, I missed it. Oh, here go this cookie crap. Let me just close this anyway. All right. Yeah, I didn't see anything about benefits. So let's just go ahead and go over to the investor relations so we can get ready to go to the charts. Let's get the technicals done on this. Investor relations. All right. So I'm looking for somewhere to click. Don't see it. I don't see anything at the top about the stocks, about the stock quote, the charts, or anything. So let's just scroll over this page. See here. Okay, here's the stock information. Connect with investor relations. So I got to email you. Why you just don't have a chart and the information? Can you click on this? No. All right. My opinion, this is sad because they don't even have a chart. So we found it. They trade on the New York Stock Exchange. There's the ticker. There's the closing price. They lost 45. That's the net change. And that's the percentage loss. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let me tell you what I found in my research about the company. Here we go. All right. Investor. All right. Coherent Corporation, ticker COHR, when it comes to their goods and services. They manage engineered materials, optoelectronic components, and industrial laser systems across the communications, electronics, and manufacturing markets, offering solutions such as high-speed optical transceivers like data communication modules and telecom networking components that power massive cloud data transfer and telecom infrastructure deployments. Advanced engineered materials, including compound semiconductor substrates, laser optics, and thermoelectric devices for precision instrumentation and electronic configurations, and industrial laser systems tailored for high volume semiconductor capital equipment fabrication, precision material processing, and display manufacturing setups. Looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include NVIDIA Corporation, ticker NVDA, which we saw on the website, Cisco Systems Incorporated, ticker CSCO, and Apple Incorporated, ticker AAPL. Bam. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the charts. Click, bam. One more. There we go. Coherent. Let's go to the charts. Now, remember, we've never looked at them before, but immediately, right off the bat, 52-week low, $76.88. There we go. 52-week high, nuts, $440. Let's get the trend line tool. Trend line tool connected to that 52-week low, to that 52-week high. I moved too fast. Remove the tool. Do this one more time. 52-week low, 52-week high. That was a 472.32% gain, guys, in less than a year. 355. Oh my gosh, don't tell me it's 365 days in a year. Right. So that's less than a year. Wow. Almost 500%. Crazy. So that was a heck of an opportunity right there. And the trend line is up. If you can't see it, it's up. Oh my gosh, it is up. So it is trading above the 200-day simple moving average. That's that dash white line. And today it closed below the 9-day simple moving average. But guys, the overall trend is up. So we need to go back and look at the 10-year weekly. Oh, this is crazy. Boom. Now I'm thinking this right here, what we actually seeing, guys, this is the information technology hype that has me concerned. Okay. This company ain't just started doing. First of all, let's talk about this. So the 10-year low, so we going back to 2016, 10-year low is $17.76. 10-year high is the 52-week high they just made this year. That sounds crazy. 52-week high is always going to be in the year you in. Let me put me on the screen so you can see how goofy I look for saying that. This 10-year high just happens to be the 52-week high that we experienced this year. That's a better way of saying it, okay? All right. So that's what I'm seeing there. So as far as using historical data to do the technical analysis, we don't have any historical data at these price levels. All the price levels we seeing at the range we can look at are within this year. So we just looked at what was going on with this. Now, this is what I want to explain to you. This company ain't just started doing anything about computers. They've been doing this for years, as you can see. But this hype around information technology is driving the valuations up of these companies like crazy. This is why I think they're overvalued. And I talked about that on the weekly recap live on Sunday. I went into deeper detail about it if you want to check that out. So let me go back over here to the 1-year daily chart. Oh, and I mean, guys, the way this trend is going, I'm seeing this as a support level, and I'll explain why. Because that was one of the few times it did a pullback to test anything. So it saw this, and that's a psychological number. The $299.09, this is close to a psychological number of 300. So that could be part of the reason why it stalled out here, trying to get above the $300 price level, okay? Then when it pulled back, it found support here. Now I'm gonna draw this as a zone. So I'm gonna use the bottom of this candle, this green one here. I'm gonna use the bottom of that green candle and the bottom of this red candle. Yeah, I'm gonna use those two. And then I'm gonna extend it over to the right. So we're gonna go to December 1st. And then we're gonna extend it over to the left. So we're gonna move it by a year. Yeah, there we go. First, okay. So that's my support zone. Now I know that's further down, but I just want you to see what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing this as a support zone because it had trouble getting through that price level, and you can't see what that price level is. So I'm about to show you. If I open this drawing up, edit properties, and take this off the screen, you can see the price points. So that's $215.55. That's the bottom of the support zone. The top of the support zone is $230.20, just to give you a visual because the prices aren't there. Now I'm seeing this as that $300 we were talking about because of what's going on here, and then here. It tested it here, It was resistance here, and then it held as support here. I know that's a lot of pointing, but that's what I'm seeing. Now, recently, so if we go up in here, I'm gonna use a price level here, okay? So with a price level, if I put that line there, I'm gonna use this candle's low. And I'm gonna tell you why I chose that candle. I'm gonna zoom in so you can get a better idea. Why did you choose that? You just ran? No, I'm not. I'm gonna show you exactly why. These three candles right over here, these three red candles, they're all wicks. They never were able to close above that. So this held as resistance really well right here. Now, this candle, the wick touched it, got above it, but barely, but it held as resistance. This candle convincingly got through it. This was the first candle to close above this price level of 352.85. Notice that that's near another psychological price level, which would be 350. This candle's wick tested it and was able to bounce right off of it. These two candles held on as support as well. And then it started riding the 9-day simple moving average. These two candles held support as well. The green candle opened below that level of support, but it was able to close above it. And wouldn't you know it, then it gapped up the very next day and then created this 52-week high, which is also a 10-year high after we did our due diligence and look back at the 10-year weekly chart, okay? So I'm gonna put that price level there as resistance. So those are the technicals. I walked you through it. I explained it. So you know exactly why I picked that price level. So you notice that today's trading session, when it got below the price level that we picked from the bottom of this candle right here, we can see that that wick responded to it. It got below it, but it closed above that price level of 352.85. Those are my technicals. Let's go ahead and go to the settings, floating data box, and get the stock quote for Coherent Corporation. All right. So Coherent opened today at $407.08. They had a high of $410.70. They had a low of $335.48. They closed today at $355.94, which was a trading range of $75.22. Now, when we look at the trading volume, they traded 8.1 million shares of this stock today. So what we need to do is find out what the average trading volume is for this stock. So let's go to my volume labels, and here we go. So the average trading volume for Coherent is 5 million shares in a daily trading session. So they definitely had volume that was above average. That is going to be significant. Why? Because they had an increase in volume that was above average when the price went down. Not just down, but convincingly down. So it's not just the fact that it was a red candle. It was a big red candle with above average volume. So this means that a lot of people agreed that this stock price should be lower because you had more people trading than average on that candle. That's how I'm seeing it. All right. Now, when we look at the previous trading volume, which was Monday, that volume is going to be for the is acting funny. This green candle right here. So that trading volume was 5.5 million shares in the daily trading session for yesterday. Now, let's talk about the volume rank percentile. Put me back on the screen. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 23 of those days had higher volume than today. DA days above, DB days below. Now we're going to look at the volume rank percentile percentage. It was 90.9%, which means today's volume was higher than that percentage, 90.9% of the most recent 252 trading days volume. Guys, we got through it. Now, I need to talk to you about the biggest winner. And I'm so happy about it. So let's go over back to the Market Watch tab. Oh, man. No, they don't pay dividends. Let's go to the Market Watch tab, go back to the quotes sub tab, and we're going to go to the biggest winner. And this is why I'm so happy, guys. The biggest winner for today happens to be Smuckers. So what makes this great is I can end the show early tonight because we already did the technicals and covered this company earlier because they were the company we covered because of earnings. All right. So all the information on them, I'll do a little bit of it, and then I'll tell you what I got from my research that I didn't give you earlier. So their previous close was $101.77. They closed today at $112.39. And we already discussed all the other stuff. All right, we looked at the website and everything. So we didn't look at the food industry, though. Like we didn't look at the heat map. So if we go to the visualize tab and then we go to the consumer staples and they're in the food products industry, here they are. So we can see the food industry kind of did, it looks like everybody did good. It's a few. So Conagra slightly went down by 0.08%. Tyson went down almost a full percent. Hershey went down 0.03%. So they barely went down. So it looks like overall, the food products industry inside the consumer discretionary did well today. All right. So here's what I found in my research about the Smucker Company that I usually give about the winners and the losers so you can have it. When it comes to their goods and services, they manage branded consumer food processing and distribution networks across pet food, coffee, and consumer food markets, offering solutions such as high quality coffee products like roast and ground coffee, premium espresso blends, and liquid coffee concentrates. Fast consumer food solutions, including portable frozen sandwiches and fruit spreads for convenient meal preparation, and specialized pet food snack setups tailored for high volume dog and cat treat production. Again, looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include, remember, we said Target Corporation, ticker TGT, Walmart Incorporated, ticker WMT, and Costco Wholesale Corporation, ticker COST. Oh, guys, I'm so happy we done. We are done. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You already know. I hope that you learned something and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. This Sunday, June 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we're reviewing this week's performance of the 11 sectors in the S&P 500 index, companies that stood out, notable market news, and performing a live Q&A so we can focus on building our community. And make sure you keep tuning in weekdays following the market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you so much, Hunter, for your comments tonight. All you guys take care and God bless.